resulted in over 100 deaths. We have some stunning visuals that are coming from the epicenter as our band of reporters are on ground, bringing us the latest on the challenges in the rescue mission that currently underway. We see that rains still continue even as I speak. That's hindered rescue operations. There are hundreds of them who are still trapped and stranded. Let me begin with the headlines first. Killer landslides in Kerala's Wayanad. The death toll now crosses 100. Multi-agency rescue operations currently underway. Army, the IAF all pressed into action. Deadly Wayanad landslides raised in the parliament. The issue spoken about. Centre assures all help to Kerala government for the landslides as Rahul and Priyanka, both of them make their way to Wayanad tomorrow. That's the scheduled time of their arrival. Finance Minister's point-by-point rebuttal to the budget debate in the Lok Sabha calls the opposition bias charge misinformation campaign. Says the Congress is shedding crocodile tears for Kisan.
Congress party they can go on shedding crocodile tears about farmers. कोई implementation में कुछ नहीं किया पिछले 10 साल में.
Human rights body takes cognizance of Delhi killer apathy. Mayor Shelley Oberoi inspects coaching centres amid the outrage. SUV driver has been taken into 14-day police custody. We see a crackdown, axing of those engineers of the MCD, but no arrests so far on the concerned officials for their apathy. Anti-love jihad bill passed in Uttar Pradesh Assembly. Punishment for illegal conversion that's come to a maximum. In fact, life imprisonment has been proposed for forceful conversion. Another railway tragedy, 2 dead, over 16 injured as Howrah-Mumbai express train derails in Jharkhand, collides with a goods train in the wee hours of this morning. Manu Bhaker scripts history, becomes the first Indian athlete to win 2 medals in one Olympic Games after bagging her second bronze in a mixed doubles with Sarabjot in the 10 meters air pistol. All right, Wayanad visuals that we see there are really intense with rains that still continues. Landslides in Wayanad, an unprecedented one that claims the lives of over 100 people. The latest death toll that we have here is 106. 106 people who've been killed in Wayanad landslide so far. And we hear that there are still 98 people who are missing. The landslide aftermath, we're looking at rescue teams and choppers. The Indian Army pressed into action as they try to bring out those who are stranded and stuck in several zones, villages of Wayanad that seem to have been cut off. Routes cut off to many villages. And we hear that there are nearly 400 people who are stranded and there's all communication that's cut. In fact, rescue teams are doing all that they can to make their way into those villages that are right now unreachable due to water flowing in the midst of it. In fact, the entire river there has changed its course, leading to this kind of devastation. Unexpected scenes that we see there that's claimed 106 lives with 98 people missing. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, who is doing all the heavy lifting for the state of Kerala, the government there is doing all it can to ensure that lives are saved. Here's what he said. Let's have a listen.
ഇപ്പോൾ അപകടമുണ്ടായ സ്ഥലം ദുരന്തബാധിത പ്രദേശമായി പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ച സ്ഥലമല്ല. എന്നാൽ ഉരുൾപൊട്ടലിൻ്റെ പ്രഭവ കേന്ദ്രമായി അറിയപ്പെടുന്ന മുണ്ടക്കൈ എന്ന സ്ഥലം തീവ്ര ദുരന്ത സാധ്യതാ പ്രദേശത്താണ്. ഒഴുകി വന്ന മണ്ണും ഉരുളും പാറകളും ഉരുൾപൊട്ടൽ ദുരന്ത സാധ്യതയില്ലാത്ത ചൂരൽമല അങ്ങാടി എന്ന പ്രദേശത്താണ് വന്നടിഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളത്. അത് പ്രഭവ കേന്ദ്രത്തിൻ്റെ 6 കിലോമീറ്റർ അകലെയാണ്. ഈ പ്രദേശം നിരപ്പായ പുഴയുടെ തീരവും വർഷങ്ങളായി ജനവാസമുള്ള മേഖലയുമാണ്. എന്നാൽ ഉരുൾപൊട്ടലിൻ്റെ പ്രഭവകേന്ദ്രം മനുഷ്യവാസമുള്ള പ്രദേശമല്ല.
Now, following the widespread destruction in the wake of massive landslides in Kerala's hilly Wayanad district, rescue efforts are currently underway as the SDRF, the NDRF, the army all pressed into action to try and bring out many of those stranded. 98 people, that's the number that we have here, who are still missing, could be trapped. We're hoping that rescue teams reach them as early as possible because we know it's been much above 14 hours where they don't have food supplies. Looking at the natural calamity here, we see that food supply has been completely cut off to some of the villages and 400 people are said to be trapped, but the official number that is missing is 98. The challenges are huge. I'm going to take you through all the information that's come in through the day on this devastating tragedy, Wayanad.
Destruction, deluge and deaths. Stalking Kerala's Wayanad, with deadly landslides striking multiple locations. Bodies of victims were recovered from destroyed homes. Dozens were buried under piles of mud. Destroyed houses, swollen water bodies and uprooted trees dotting the entire landscape. Picturesque hamlets turning into pictures of devastation. Multiple vehicles were either washed away or buried in dirt.
There are many challenges, but all the rescue teams are there from early morning 3:30 itself. Rescue operations have started and NDRF team was there and also the fire force team. They are also specially trained. Our team members were there and teams from different parts of the state they were also sent to Wayanad and Honorable CM has sought the help of Army, Navy, etc.
Indian Army, Air Force, Navy and NDRF have joined state forces searching for survivors buried under debris. Heavy rains and huge boulders from the hills are hindering rescue work.
We have sent special teams to Wayanad, especially forensic team, forensic surgeons, forensic professors and others, and also orthopedic surgeons and pediatric surgeons. We have sent a team to Wayanad and we are sending people also from, not only from Kozhikode, also from Trivandrum we are sending people.
Many children are among the dead, whose count may rise as many are still missing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Kerala Chief Minister, assuring central assistance. The Prime Minister also announced financial assistance for the survivors.
Honorable Chief Minister himself is coordinating rescue disaster management operations from his office. An IAS officer has been appointed as special officer. He will be camping in Wayanad, and CM has sent a team of 5 ministers to Wayanad. So they will be coordinating rescue operations in Wayanad.
Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has instructed officials to run rescue work at war footing. Kozhikode in Kerala is also facing severe rain havoc, leading to multiple landslides. Rescue teams are now racing against time to extricate survivors still buried under massive mounds of soil. With Shilpa Nair, Shibi Mol and Sagai Raj in Wayanad. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let me cut across to our reporters. We have Shibi KG joining us from Wayanad. Shibi has been tracking these developments very closely right from the start. Shibi, what we saw in 2018, Kerala floods that killed nearly 400 people. This is the next most devastating episode that's hit Kerala. 5 years later, we're looking at a landslide of this magnitude that's hit Wayanad, and the death toll could very well increase. For now, the updated figures we have is 106. Take us through the real challenges that the rescue teams are right now facing.
Oh, well, Nabila, this is going to be one of the biggest tragedies the state has ever faced. Like, if you've seen the last 6-7 years, we've seen two floods. We've overcome two floods, landslides, cyclone, a lot of health-related concerns in the last 6-7 years. And this, again, is one of the biggest tragedies in terms of death toll. If we see already, it's the numbers, the figure have crossed 100. It's standing at 106 is what the latest figure we know. But it is not going to stop there. Unofficially, we are hearing a very, very huge number from the locals there and also the rescue operators there, because still 98 people are missing. That's the official figure that's coming, that 98 people. So the unofficial figure could even be bigger. So the death toll is not going to stop at 106. Very, very unfortunate incident. Even now the rescue operations are going on. I'm very close. I'm in Meppadi actually, where the incident took place, very close by to the actual location. In fact, I can hear ambulances going through all the routes here, because that's the number of deaths and that's the number of bodies being recovered in every minute. One of the major difficulty was the rescue operations in the Mundakai area, because the road or the bridge that was connecting to one side to the other side is across a river actually. So that has been collapsed. So for 15 hours, nobody knew what to do, or there was no other possible measure to be taken out to go that side and rescue people. In fact, that is a very high risk area, but there weren't a lot of people staying there. But a lot of people had traveled to the nearby resorts and all these places, to be safer, to be at the safer location. So a lot of people are stuck there. That is what we're understanding.
So a lot
the
of them
army
are
has
stuck
started
at
the
resort
rescue
areas.
operations and they've already rescued.
We're going to come back to you, Shibi. For the moment, stay with us. I'm going to quickly cut across to Veena George, Kerala Health Minister, joining us on the phone line. She's en route right now to Wayanad. I've spoken to her just a few minutes ago. Ms. Veena, thanks very much for sparing a few minutes with us. If you could please detail for us the challenges that the Kerala government is right now facing in rescuing those who are stranded. Give us a number. How many people are said to be missing? How many are trapped? And how many have been killed?
The death toll has risen up to 100, and more than 100 people are injured, and they are in different hospitals. And now the Navy has reached there in the evening, and this particular area called Mundakai, which was separated from or isolated from other parts, we could reach there, and the rescue operations have started there in the evening. And also this landslide occurred in the early hours of the day, around 3 o'clock, and Honorable Chief Minister has given instructions to all of us by around 4 o'clock, and all the rescue operations started early in the morning itself, and our NDRF team was there, and also fire force teams were there. And other NDRF teams from other districts were also mobilized to Wayanad, and also we saw the help of Army, Navy, etc. And the thing is that hundreds of people were trapped in Mundakai, and actually the evacuation process. This is a very an economically fragile area, and yesterday, because of the red alert message, the people from different parts of this particular area, Mundakai, were evacuated yesterday. So if they were not evacuated yesterday, this was not the situation then. So, but still, we try to find whether there are more people trapped there, and the rescue operations. But it will be difficult to continue the rescue operations in the night.
You know, ma'am, from what I hear from experts, that this situation could have been avoided had there been assessment of some of the landslide-prone areas. Ms. Veena George, we hear that there's an action plan committee that has sent out papers on susceptible areas that landslides could occur, and that information was handed to the government about 2 years ago, but yet there wasn't proactive steps and measures that were taken. Would you want to clarify?
See, now the priority of the government is to rescue our people. But since you asked the question, we have already mapped these areas where there is high probability of landslides. And as I told you, this particular area is highly probable, or there is high probability of landslides here. And because that red alert message was there yesterday, that message was given to the public, and people were evacuated from different colonies of this particular area. But see, Kerala is like a big city. From Trivandrum to Kasaragod, we don't have a village, then agriculture land, then village. It's not like that. It's like a big city. So the population density is very high. So, and also we usually find it difficult to rehabilitate the people. So what we do is that during monsoon we give the alert messages, and people or the district panchayat and the local self bodies they will give this message to the public, and the evacuation process will be done. That is that is how we.
Hello. All right, we seem to have lost Veena George's connection. As we've understood from her, 106 deaths have been reported, and that's a confirmed number that's coming in from the government itself. The health minister speaking exclusively to India Today, and our band of reporters are on the ground. We're getting you the latest, and the images are really telling. It's possibly the worst landslide that Wayanad has seen in its history. And that could be because of rapid urbanization in several of those areas, which is a hilly region. The reasons are plenty, and we're going to get you those perspectives through our experts in just a few minutes from now. But let me take you through these images that's coming right from the start of today. The landslides that's really struck Kerala's Wayanad region claimed 106 lives. It paints a very sorry picture of this once beautiful district, Wayanad. Heavy rains triggering massive landslides in the hilly region. The death toll only mounting. 106 is the latest figure we have. Visuals on your screens here showing bodies being removed from debris and being brought to safety. In fact, we know that several people survived. Many of them lost their lives. As far as we hear, 106 have died. 98 have been rescued to safety. Using ropes, the army soldiers are being ferried across the river, which is in spate now to assist and carry out rescue efforts. In Churamala village, as we saw, parts of that village area was cut off due to heavy rains and largely due to flooding now. As we see, rescue operation continues there in full swing. Visuals on your screens here are of the dramatic rescue operations in Churamala of Wayanad, where the landslide occurred earlier today, that claimed lives of nearly 106 people. In fact, just every hour passing, we're looking at the death toll only rising. Canals overflowing, roads waterlogged, houses inundated in Kerala's Kozhikode as a result of heavy rainfall in the area. And these are the images that tells you the gravity, the intensity of the floods and the rains that's really left the entire town at a standstill. Rescue teams are working tirelessly to evacuate those stranded. Dramatic visuals of screens there showing Rescue 122 TA Battalion of the Indian Army carrying out search operations in order to rescue those stuck under debris. Shibi Mole is with us right now. Shibi, I cut you off. We heard Veena George speaking. Of course, she did not want to delve into what may have led to this landslide. It's a natural calamity. We know it's unavoidable, but there are preventive measures that can be adopted. And the allegation is that there were assessments that was made by a joint action committee that were members from Kerala and Karnataka, because they share borders. Wayanad shares border with Karnataka. So there was a joint action committee that did an assessment of flood-prone and landslide-prone areas, a report of which was sent to the government 2 years ago, but it seems like they've dragged their feet.
There are, in 2011, there was a Gadgil report that had come out, which, the state government, the Women Chandi-led state government did not approve back then, which said that, certain areas should be declared as economically sensitive zones. Later, Kasturi Rangan Commission was formed, and they filed a report as an alternative saying that around 37, kilometer area could be termed as ecologically sensitive zones. zones and everything else could be used, inhabited. So those concerns were there, and it was, this whole discussion about ecologically sensitive zones has been going on Kerala for a long time. With changing government, the policies have changed, the discussions have changed. We did try to get a word from Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan about it when he said that, the main area where the high risk area is the Mundakai, where this incident took place, which was not inhabited. That area did fall under the high risk category. It was the rocks and boulders that came from there which affected Churalmala, is what he said. So from the government side, they're saying that there wasn't any kind of inaction from their part when it comes to this particular incident, because the other lands, the Churalmala is not a sensitive zone as far as the the government data shows. So it is a very, very widely discussed topic. There's been a lot of debate going on where we haven't got yet a final clarification. But like the government is saying, right now the focus should be on rescuing the people. Everything could be discussed later on, is what the government is saying. And yes, because there are still 98 people missing. There are many people who are stuck there. In one particular resort alone, there are around 300 people stuck who ran to that resort to find safer locations yesterday night, because there was a guideline issued that people staying closer to these sensitive areas and the river areas should relocate to camps and other safer locations.
Shibi,
so right now the focus
as we know challenges are only mounting. I would like to bring in Shaji here. Shaji is an environmental journalist. He hails from Wayanad. His whole family is currently in Wayanad. Many of them are stranded, and he could give us a real perspective of the difficulties that Wayanad is rightly facing on ground. Thanks very much for taking your time off. I know your family members are right now stranded in Wayanad. I hope all is well. Shaji, you're an environmentalist yourself and a journalist. You've been tracking the situation in Wayanad for several years. Was this impending? Do you believe that these landslides could have been avoided? Was this glaring, and were there alerts and red flags raised even in the past?
In the case of Wayanad, we have been witnessing extreme climatic events for the last 10 years, and it got aggravated in 2018. And since every year, it became an annual affair, large-scale landslides, lot of floods, inundation, massive deaths. The only issue is, whenever the issue happens, whenever the tragedy occurs, the government is acting, the civil society is acting, the experts are coming in, and even the media attention is happening in the case of Wayanad. But practically, at the ground level, no lasting solution has been found. And in the case of this particular vulnerable area, where this untoward incident happened early in the morning, this area was identified by the Madhav Gadgal Committee years ago as ecologically fragile land. And during 2018, when the massive floods occurred in Kerala, Wayanad witnessed a large number of landslides. And that time, the government said it would conduct a micro-level hazard analysis survey. And based on that survey, they will relocate who will be living in such vulnerable areas. Nothing happened so far. Yes, nothing happened. And even this area, 4 years ago in 2020, just 2 kilometers from the present incident site at Pettimudi, there was a massive landslide. It is happening very close to that area. And what is happening in all these years? The government was strangely pushing India's third largest tunnel road just below the exact location where the tragedy is now occurring. You remember, you imagine the kind of insensitivity with which Kerala is dealing.
But Shaji, I'm really shocked that the Kerala government could be indifferent to something like this. Of course, right now, rescue operations is the focus. But if we can reflect back to what happened in 2018, the Kerala floods that claimed 400 lives, it was possibly the worst in Kerala's history. Weren't lessons learned?
That is the issue. We have not learned any lesson. After 2018, there was Pettimudi incident in Idukki, and then there was Kavalappara tragedy in Malappuram. And there were many large-scale landslides, and Kerala is now remaining the landslide capital of India. But in the number of landslides every year, whether minor or bigger or medium scale, at least 7,000 landslides are happening in Kerala. The number 2 is West Bengal. In the case of
7,000 landslides?
Yeah, 7,000 minor, the total number of landslides happening in Kerala per year is 7,000. That is
My
as per the
God.
study of the federal government. And the second place is, in the case of West Bengal is having hardly 200 landslides a year. So such is the vulnerability of the Kerala hill area. Such is the vulnerability of the Western Ghats region of Kerala. So it is quite
Shaji,
alarming.
a quick word on why do you think this is happening? Why do you think this is happening? You're saying 7,000 landslides, mini landslides. I'm assuming that it wasn't as devastating because then we would have heard, we would have reported on it extensively.
I am talking just about the number. I am not talking about the magnitude or size of the landslide.
Yeah,
This
I
is
got
as
that
per the
point.
official
Why
record.
is it happening? Why is it happening?
There are many things. Mainly the climate change is the main villain. And the continuing incessant rains are contributing to that situation. But also there are many human contributions or many human factors which are aggravating the situation. In the case of this particular region, the case of Meppadi before and now this Churalmala present, the monocropping is one of the biggest issues Wayanad is facing. And Madhav Gadkal committee and many experts, many scientists already said Kerala must have to discourage the kind of monocropping in such areas very vulnerable to landslide. In this area, the tea plantations are spread in the locality. No other vegetation, no other trees, nothing that having a fine grip on the loose soil. That is one reason. And another thing is, in the name of unscientific tourism, lot of focus is there on tourism, and strangely, some of the resorts located in this area may be illegal. They are now providing temporary shelter to the affected people. First time, the calamity affected people are getting shelter in their tourist resort. But this tourist resort, only because this area is very close to the Meenmutti waterfall, one of the famous waterfalls in Wayanad, there is lot of infrastructure related developments. Roads were created, bridges were created, building constructions were permitted, and no one cared about the fragile ecology of the area, and no one was concerned about the kind of repercussions such construction activities would cause. These are the burning issues. And also
Shaji,
we are pushing. Yes.
we know that your family is in Wayanad and they thankfully are safe. Would you want to tell us, give us an update on how they're doing and what right now the challenges that the rescue teams are facing? We hear that there are nearly 400 people who are stranded in many villages that are cut off. Is that figure right?
Yeah, fortunately, my family is in another part of Wayanad. That is a little bit comparatively, that area is getting lesser rains during every monsoon. And this area, it is extremely vulnerable. It is close to the border. On the other side is the Malappuram district. It is actually the Western Ghats forest with a lot of loose soil and soil piping like phenomena are happening. And this is extremely vulnerable. And every monsoon, there would be at least a minor landslip or landslide in this area. This is highly vulnerable. It is high time to relocate the remaining people and to rehabilitate them properly. Because this area is not suitable for the humans to dwell. That is the biggest issue.
Yeah.
So we have to evolve long-term solution instead of having some face-saving attempts or some cosmetical changes.
You're right. Quick fixes, stopgap arrangements will not do when it comes. Where this is a lesson learned. It's a harsh reminder for us to wake up and respect Mother Nature. And the visuals here are really shocking. A quick word from you, Shaji. We hear that the water, the river itself, the Mudakkai, the river near Mudakkai, has changed course entirely. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. The river has changed course. And even in areas in some parts of Malappuram, the river is flowing. And that area, there is no flooding, nothing. But people found dead bodies floating through the water. It is a horrible kind of shock for the people of the Malappuram district. The Chalia River is flowing through Malappuram to merge with the Arabian Sea. And people found at least 12 bodies floating through Chalia River. This is the first time in the case of entire Kerala. We never saw such bodies are floating on the water. So the devastation, the level of, the depth of the actual disaster is yet to be known. And my friends in that locality, those people who are engaging in rescue activity, they said after 5 o'clock, there is almost complete darkness in the area.
Yeah.
And as a result, because of the extreme darkness in the area, the rescue operation came to a standstill. Nobody can go there, and nobody knows what actually is the real picture. And the rescue operations, despite the best efforts, there are many people go trapped. Then the entire number is yet to be revealed.
Shaji, I thank you very much. I know it's a difficult time for you and your family as well, but thank you very much for sharing your time for India Today and explaining the gravity of the situation and what's really led to this kind of tragedy, how it could have been avoided had there been due attention in time. Thank you very much yet again for joining us. Well, for our viewers, this is intense. The rescue mission still continues, and like our guest here from Wayanad said to me that the rescue mission could hit a roadblock considering the sunlight is down. It's very dark. It's difficult to enter those tough, challenging terrains. So what next then? Well, we have our panel of experts to give us a sense on how this situation can be tackled and if it could be prevented, at least further instances of such nature. Right after a short break, do stay tuned to India Today.
To say hello, I'm so fly. You took a nosedive. Careful when you play on my level. For you it's so. Hey, hello.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.
The grandest stage.
The ultimate challenge. Where dreams are made.
And legends are born.
The pinnacle of sportsmanship. Where new heroes will rise and old records will fall. As the Olympic journey begins, our nation unites in a single resounding cheer. Go India, go for glory.
Go India, go for glory. Only on India Today.
To say hello, I'm so fly. You took a nosedive. Careful when you play on my level. For you it's so. Hey, hello.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.